Hi, everybody. It's been a long time since we've all been together, hasn't it? It seems like a really long time to me. I hope everything is going well in your homes, that you're being good listeners, that you're helping around the house, that you're learning, having lots of fun. Spring is here, even though it snowed, but spring is here. So today I have a book for you called God's Paintbrush. And it will help us think about ways that we think about God. Let's see what it says. Sometimes I think the clouds are made of white balls of cotton yarn, God's way of painting pictures in the sky. And then a big wind comes and blows the pictures away like a giant eraser. A sunbeam peeked in my window this morning and painted a rainbow on my wall. I think the sunbeam is God's paintbrush dipped in a watercolor sea, painting clouds and coloring our world. What color would you paint the world today? Sometimes I imagine that when it gets very dark at night, the flowers, trees, mountains, and oceans are afraid. I wonder if God made the stars for them to go to bed with and the moon to be their nightlight. When are you afraid? What makes you feel better? Sometimes when the clouds look gray and dark, I think they are angry or sad. And the rain, I think, is God's tears. Sometimes the oceans make giant waves with white foam on top. I imagine that pleases God, and God laughs. When the fizz on my favorite ice cream soda tickles my nose, it makes me laugh. Maybe it makes God laugh too. What makes you cry and laugh? What do you think would make God cry or laugh? Yesterday, our class played kickball. I fell while running to first base and scraped my knee. It hurt. The school nurse put a bandage over the scrape. In a few days, it was all better. Last month, my best friend had to move away. I was sad. I was hurt inside. My dad said we can visit in the summer and we can write letters or call on the telephone when we miss each other a lot. What Dad said made me feel better. But when I think of my best friend far away, I still hurt a little. I wonder if God hurts and what might help God feel better. Maybe I could be God's friend. That makes me think of how we are today, and I bet you're missing some of your really good friends. I know I miss my friends. What do you think makes God hurt? And how can you be God's friend? I wonder if God has a big lap to curl up in, just like my mom's, and strong arms, just like my dad's, to lift me up and catch me when I fall. I wonder if God has strong hands to hold me tight, just like mom's, and big shoulders, just like dad's, to carry me when I'm tired. What makes you feel safe and warm and loved? When I go to bed at night, I sleep on cool cotton sheets. I hold a soft, furry teddy bear very close. My mom gives me a big kiss and her cheeks feel warm and soft. My dad gives me a big hug and his face feels scratchy but good. All these good feelings, I think, are God's touch. What does God's touch feel like to you? How can you help God touch the world? My tooth fell out last night. My parents said that it was in order to make room for my new one. I didn't really like losing it, even though I found $1 under my pillow in its place. I wonder if the trees mind losing their leaves in the fall, or if the snow minds when it melts to make room in the spring. I think God paints the leaves bright colors in the fall and makes the sun warm in spring because God likes changes. God likes the world to grow. How are you changing? How are you growing? Sometimes I think God is just like my dad when he holds the back of my new two-wheel bicycle just long enough for me to catch my balance. Then he lets go and I ride all by myself. But it's nice to know he's running right alongside me. Sometimes I think God is just like my mom when she helps me look both ways in crossing the street and then lets me go, all by myself. But it's nice to know she's still watching me at the corner. What makes you feel big enough to do something all by yourself for the very first time? My friend is great at math. She always gets 100 on her tests. My brother is captain of his baseball team. He always gets home runs. Sometimes when I get lots of red X's all over my math paper, I think I'd like to be just like my friend. And when I get up to bat and strike out, I think I'd like to be just like my brother. But then I think, I enjoy gymnastics. I can do one-handed cartwheels. I am glad to be me. Perhaps God gave each of us a special gift that makes us different from anyone else. And when we share that gift, God is happy. What is your gift? And how do you share that gift with God? Sometimes on a bright day when I close my eyes real tight, I see all kinds of colors. Green and purple and red and blue. I think these are just like God's colors. I know God's colors are in me too, and I can paint with God's paintbrush. Well, I hope you enjoyed our story, God's Paintbrush, today. And Mrs. Barden put together a Sunday school lesson for you to think through some of those questions that are in this book and draw a couple pictures. I hope you'll take time to do that today as you think about God and how God works in you and how God works in the world. Bye, everyone. I miss you.